Dear friends, welcome to Embrace 4 featuring Quintessence, Sutra at the MPO, the Dewan Filharmonic Petronas in 2014. I'm Ramli Ibrahim, I'm Chairman and Artistic Director of Sutra Foundation based in Kuala Lumpur. You know, by 2014, Sutra had probably performed in all the best theatres in the world, which included Carnegie Hall, the Asia Society of New York, the UNESCO in Paris and Vienna, the Sydney Opera House, Esplanade Singapore, including the best theatres in India, like the National Centre of Performing Arts in Mumbai, Kamani Auditorium, Delhi, Music Academy in Chennai. But we have not been invited in the prestigious hall of Dewan Filharmonic Petronas. You know, I was there when the Dewan Filharmonic Petronas opened its door to the audience in 1998, and I was impressed with a simple demonstration of dropping a pin on the floor and how it had created a record, just to show how evolved the acoustic is, that no one should make too much noise because it will interrupt the audience. So it is with great excitement that Sutra awaited for this performance to happen to us. Yes, we had waited long enough when we would be invited possibly to the only Malaysian performing space we have not danced in. It's truly fabulous that when we finally did it, it was with a daring production, Quintessence, a contemporary triple bill featuring the famous compositions of Debussy, Ravel and Stravinsky, accompanied with live music performed by the internationally acclaimed Malaysia Philharmonic Orchestra, led by South American conductor Fabio Macchetti. Significantly, we wouldn't be able to do this without our collaboration with Malaysia's outstanding contemporary modern dance company, the Duat Space Dance Theatre. Malaysia's soprano Yiling Cheng sang the evocative Ravel's Scheherazade. We also managed to convince international Malaysian fashion designers Bernard Chandran and Melida Louis to create their first costume design for Sutra. And of course, the dancers of Sutra Foundation and Duat Space rose to the occasion to give this long-awaited opportunity their very best performance. The first work was La Comédie d'un Faun, which was inspired by the legendary Russian dancer choreographer Nijinsky, who eventually spent his last days in the asylum. He choreographed his controversial choreography to Debussy's well-known score more than 100 years ago. His work instigated the outrage of Paris audience when it was first performed. When the faun, danced by himself, ended his tableau gyrating with erotic pelvic thrusts, rubbing against a scarf left by the nymph he was lusting after. This significant action was retained through its intention in my interpretation. Actually, Sutra's Afternoon on Faun has undergone many avatars. I first choreographed it in 1984 when I returned from Australia, and it was performed with Malaysian veteran modern dancer, then now ballroom dance icon Francis Teo. Later, I revived it in 2011 in a collaborative production Into the Center with Battery Dance Company of New York. The faun was danced by amazingly athletic dancer Sean Scantlebury. Bernard Chandran designed the costume, which was retained for the MPO production. The work was revisited by me again, almost suicidally, at the age of 61. In Scheherazade, the second work of the triple bill, it evoked the romanticism of Klingsor's poem, where it was given a grand oral display by Ravel's music. It had an abashedly orientalist flavor. Ravel's Scheherazade takes a different point of embarkation if compared to the Rimsky-Korsakov version. For this production, thanks to the recommendation of Dato' Sri Lim Chong Kiat, we were able to display the debut talent of Malaysian soprano Yi Ling Cheng, who is now a recognized singer in Malaysia. Taking the cue from the music, the choreography explores the mood of the poem in an abstract manner. Its compelling flavor, nuance, and perfume the mood of the work with the exotic Azi or Asia, investing it with the erotic rasa of voyeurism, eventually cruelty, through the power of suggestion only we Asians can understand. I think the crass version can be revisited in the film Crazy Rich Asians. I'm being sarcastic, of course. Don't gulp that Lysol, please. The Firebird, the last, was the major work of the evening and involved our stellar collaboration with Kuala Lumpur-based Dua Space Dance Theatre. The score was challenging, and I think Mr. Chin Ling of MPO must be mentioned for guiding us through the score. We must remember that we had just 2 days of rehearsal with the full orchestra before performing all these orchestral pieces. The Firebird also needed the interpretation of mature dancers for the choreography to be effective. We were fortunate to share this difficult challenge with the Dua Space under the able co-direction of its artistic directors Anthony May and Aman Yap. Anthony gave an inspired performance too as the evil magician in the Firebird. Dua Space dancer Kenny Liao was well matched with Sutra dancer Gitika Shri in the leading roles. Dua Space balletic jumps and scintillating pirouettes juxtaposed with Sutra dance's central lyricism gave the performance that contrasting accents of East and West, producing compelling images which were both engaging as well as exhilarating. I believe the crux of the success had relied on the original concept of the choreography of Quintessence. The concept had emphasized on that elusive definition of modernity, which had not come here second-hand from the West, but took its points of embarkation from Asian perspectives. In fact, Nijinsky, Debussy and Ravel had been fascinated by Eastern aesthetics, and in all these 3 works, I had freely used many Eastern dance vocabularies, be it classical Indian dance of Odissi and Bharatanatyam or Malay Indonesian forms. Quintessence represented an interesting melange of talents of choreography, music, composition, singing, lighting and costume design, and of course, excellent dancing. We had 2 days of full house. Gosh, we finally able to perform at the Dewan Filharmonic Petronas. I guess my soul can now rest in peace.